looking at me is good.
Hmm.
So let's talk about first trust on the streets, how bad it is to trust, and then why you decided to trust Doors of Change.
Well, to trust in the streets is very difficult, or it was at the time, because I would just, well, homeless people would talk to me, I would talk to them, and I didn't mind talking to them, but it's like, they're in need, or some of them just need money to buy alcohol or drugs or whatnot. So when they would talk to me, I would just try to, talk to them like in a normal way, but I would know, like, in the back of my head, like they might want to steal my stuff, my clothes, the very little money I have, and luckily no one ever stole anything from me, but maybe that was because I was really careful. But just trust was like a really difficult thing for me to do, and I mean not just to homeless people, but to regular people, because well, they didn't know they didn't know me, I didn't really know anyone when I got here, because prior to being homeless, I was living in Mexico, and I mean I knew no one here in the States, so it was really difficult to trust anyone, to be honest. But then a friend, well, not a friend, an acquaintance of mine that was living in the homeless shelter with me told me about Doors of Change and how he was trying to get in the program himself. And I thought, I'll give it a shot. Why not? Sounds okay. But I mean, I don't know if I can trust them, but I'll go and see what they're all about. I went to the music and art program, and then I met Shara, and like I went to the music and art program a couple of times, and I think Shara saw something in me, and Shara at the time was working for Doors of Change, and then I met Jeffrey, and then a couple of staff, and at first I was a little, like I had my doubts about the program, but then I thought, well, staff seems very like invested in trying to help, like it seems legit, so I feel like I can trust them at least a little, since they're helping me with clothes, food, advice, telling me where to go to get more resources to help me out, and so that was like at first when I was starting to trust Doors of Change.
Was there a certain, instant that you remembered, a certain thing that you did that you said, something, these guys are real. These guys are not going to hurt me. Do you remember, a specific incident when that happened? So I remember, boom.
Yes, there's definitely at least one, and it happened early on, because Shara, before I even got in the program, when I was about to get in the program, she interviewed me, and I had a friend of mine next to me, a friend of mine from the homeless shelter, and Shara used to ask me a couple of questions, like, what are your goals? Why do you want to join the program? What would you do if we allowed you to get in the program of Doors of Change? And then my friend kind of like started crying a little, because he thought, okay, Alonso is gonna go and he's gonna get in the program. I'm not gonna see him that much. And then Shara, she couldn't hold her feelings, and she kind of started crying. And I thought, oh, she's human. Like, she really cares. Like, she got emotional, and then I got a little emotional too. And I thought, yeah, these guys seem legit. And I mean, that happened like early on. I wasn't even in the program yet, but I thought, yeah, they seem like the real deal, and they really try to help.
So looking back, Alonzo, talk about the skill level you had before coming to Doors of Change. Were you able to get a job? Did you really understand how to cook, how to shop, how to do resume writing, all that stuff? You could talk about what you were like before coming to the program. So before Doors of Change, I was able to boom.
Before I got to Doors of Change, I would try to get a job, applying for jobs online, filling out applications, but I wasn't good at it at all, since I had never had a job prior to getting in the program Doors of Change. So I was completely clueless as to how to get a job, how to fill out a resume. I found a couple of programs that would help me with that, but it still got me nowhere really, and I found no success at all when trying to find a job. Or I mean, I found very, very little success, and I mean, as far as shopping, I was never really the best. Like I would just buy whatever instead of trying to like focus on buying what's the cheapest or what's good quality, good quality food, and so my skill level, was really quite low. But then after a couple of months of me being in the program, Doors of Change, I got help from a lot of staff on how to like do shopping and then how to look for a job. Every day they would send me to like places to fill out applications, or they would give me applications and then I would just fill them up. And so yeah, every day they would be like teaching me on how to like improve my resume and just keep on applying for jobs until eventually I was finally able to get a job, which that same job that I got, I have had it for a year and a half. So I mean, that's proof of the program working on me on how to like get a job and being able to keep the job and maintain it. And as far as saving money, I wasn't the worst. I mean, before getting into the program, I had like $500 in my account, which isn't a lot, but I mean, in my time that I've been here in Doors of Change, they really like emphasize on us saving money and how it was gonna benefit us after we were able to learn how to like just the value of saving money. And now, I mean, I've seen the results. I have been able to save money through the program, but not only that, but I've been able to save money of my own. So I think the program has helped a lot in helping me improve as a person and improve my skills to better myself.
Talk about how much money you already have saved and how did you do it? I mean, obviously, we took out money every month, but you saved on your own. So talk about how much total money you've saved in a year and a half and how did you do it?
I saved. I'm sorry, I forgot how much I saved. Oh, I think
10,000 plus your 6,500.
10,000.
So 16,000. So and look right into the. Oh, let me just get this. This is amazing. Okay.
So yes, money. What was the question again?
So how did you save so much? You know, talk about how you saved your money and how much money you saved.
I saved around $6,000, but
How much?
6,000?
No.
Oh, 16,000.
Yes. So say that again.
Well, with help of Doors of Change, I was able to save $16,000. Through the program, they helped me save around 10,000, and then on my own, I've been able to save 6,000. And I mean, I've been only the money that I saved on my own, I've been just saving it little by little, through almost a year now. And I mean, I feel pretty proud about that. I mean, I never really been able to save as much money as I have now, thanks to Doors of Change. And I mean, that number is only going to keep increasing, so I think that's pretty cool.
What surprises you now when you look back and say you were on the streets? It was hard for you to find a place to stay, I know. What surprised you now along this journey? And let's talk about how you got there. So, you know, you're on the streets and you came here. What surprised you looking back? Now you got 16,000 saved in the bank. What surprised you about that journey?
Well, what surprised me about this journey so far. I mean, there's more than one thing, I guess, but like when I was in the streets, I remember this. I have this memory of me. I was talking with a friend on the phone. It was late at night, past midnight for sure. I had my tent set up, and then I was just thinking like, what am I gonna do? I got no job, and I can't get a job. I mean, I'm unable to get a job. At that time I tried to get back into school. I couldn't get into school, and then I was just thinking like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not investing my time in something productive. Something like, I'm not getting money. I'm not getting education. My options are very, very limited. And then like on that night, it just hit me like the feeling of like being unable to better myself, and I remember I just felt like really sad. It was like, oh well, I have I don't have that many options. I don't know that many people. I gotta do something. But it was one of the lowest that I had when I was in the streets. And but now this completely changed. Now with the money that I have saved, thanks to Doors of Change, I mean I have many options now. I'm not limited as I was before, and I mean now I have a job, which is it's a good job. I'm a manager. I never really thought I was gonna be a manager in a restaurant. It was never one of my goals, but now that I'm here, it's like it feels great. Like I've come so far, and I mean I have this job. Not only do I have a good job, I have money saved, which I can use to either eventually go back to school if I choose, or even try to get a different job so I can buy a car, which is one of my goals. I can get a better apartment if I wanted to, if I find it fit. So now I have a lot more options than I had before, which I think is just great, because now I'm able to choose where I want to go, and which was just like impossible before I got here to Doors of Change.
Did you lose hope at all during this whole thing while you were homeless? So I lost hope. I didn't lose hope. You know, I wanted to commit suicide. I didn't want to do that. I mean, how were you depressed? How were you when you were on the streets? And looking back, are you surprised where you are now?
For the most part of my time when I was homeless, it wasn't really that bad for me, but there were definitely times when I would just think like I would just get overwhelmed by the fact that I was in the streets, and like I don't know, it was just like I'm alone. I don't know. Well, I don't have a plan. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So at times I would lose hope. But I'm sorry, Jeffrey. What was the question again?
You know, did you lose hope? Were you ever depressed? Were you ever suicidal?
Well, I had my moments of being depressed, tough times sometimes, being alone, and then like on the rainy days just being in the streets. That really sucked. So yeah, I had my lows.
So obviously you succeeding in this job, you know that you can succeed in anything. Talk about that. How by having this one job, holding it for a year and a half, and going up to a manager, how that has helped you as far as in your future of possibilities, you know, that you know now that you have more confidence in yourself that you can achieve. Talk about that. So since I was able to, you know, hold a job for a year and a half because of Doors of Change, this is what it's done. The result of that is boom.
Well, since I have now a job and I'm able to keep that job for so long, and to go from being a dishwasher to a manager position, it just really it has helped me a lot. Like I feel like I've learned more about being patient and just working hard. Uh, because I remember like when I first got to the restaurant, I was like, shoot, this sucks. I don't want to be a dishwasher. I'm making money, a little bit of money, and this is what the program that requires me to do. But I don't want to be a dishwasher. Maybe I just should get another job. But then like eventually they started moving me up, and I would just have to like work harder and work more hours to prove to them that that I was a good worker. And then eventually I got to the manager position, and now I look back on it as like I learned to be patient, just work hard, working on being able to focus my mind on just small steps, taking small steps to achieve like a greater goal. And I mean, now I feel like if I ever decided to leave my job, I could do the same anywhere else, really, because I think it's just the same formula, just being patient, maybe starting from the bottom, but eventually I would be able to succeed in anything because it's all about just patience, practice, and working hard.
So besides working hard, what other life lessons did you learn that you could say share with another homeless kid, saying if you do this, you will succeed? What are those life lessons you've learned from starting as a dishwasher made you successful?
Well, as far as life lessons to any homeless youth, I would just say, working hard is a big one, and not giving up, because sometimes you just feel very, very tired. You just feel overwhelmed by just maybe life or your own thoughts or your situation. But as I have experienced, is just about being patient and just working really hard, even if it's tough. But eventually, you'll get what you're seeking or what you're looking for. So yeah, working hard, and being patient.
So talk about the music program and art program. When you started, we've now added case management to it full time. So talk about the importance, looking back on youth that are homeless coming into the music and art program. Why is it so important, that program? So the music and art program, Doors of Change music and art program, boom.
The Doors of Change and music and art program, in my opinion, are very important, because I remember the first time that I got there. I didn't really know what it was, but like it didn't take me long to realize like it's just normal people trying to help us, the youth, and it was just great. Like it was just like a big family, food, just we would draw, we would learn how to play instruments, just have a lot of fun, and just kind of forget about our situation for a couple of minutes and just enjoy life, I guess, by just having fun with staff or with other youth that were seeking help from the music and art program. So I think it's a nice program.
When you look back and you see, listen, this is really the entry point in Doors of Change, where people start trusting us because of it. And then when they trust, it allows them to go to the case management, like Kathy helped you, and all that case management you're having. So talk about, with what you know now, from starting with, like, are these guys for real, to yes, this is someone I want to help me. How vital is the Doors of Change music and art program in the community for homeless kids? How important is it for the homeless youth in our community?
Well, You mean like as far
So I would repeat it, like the Doors of Change Music and Art program is very important to the community for homeless kids because boom, 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 boom. You know, looking back, knowing what you know now, remember how you first came, you're like, oh, I don't know. And looking back and seeing, yeah, this is real.
Well, I think the music and art program is very important to the homeless youth community because, I mean, you go in there, you know, it's people trying to help you, but you, at least in my experience, I was thinking like, oh, it's just a program that wants to help us. That's good, that's great. But once you get in there, it's like, and you talk with staff, you feel like they're actually trying to help you. They're not there to make money. They're not there for any other reason but to help us, and in anything. And then you feel like you make a bond with them, and then I mean they make a bond with you as well. And it just feels real because they're really trying to like just help us. For example, I remember Kathy and Shara. The feeling is just like it's just palpable. As soon as you get in there, you feel like they're really trying to help you, no matter how bad you're doing or whatever. They just want to see you doing better, but they want to help you better yourself. And I think that's just an awesome program to have around because there aren't that many. It took me a long time. Like I was in the street for about a year, and I don't remember finding a program that would help us help me that way and feel real.
How does it feel being a role model now? Because you've done it. You've gone from the streets to 15,000 plus in the bank. You are a manager now. You have better confidence. You know, how does it feel you now being able to influence kids your age just by your example? How does that talk about that? Being a role model.
Well, for me, being a role model here at Doors of Change is just great. It's like I never really thought I would be one, but being one is just great because I mean, I know I can help homeless youth because I've been there. I know how it feels to just be alone, be in the streets, not being able to trust people, and I feel like I can just give them advice on how to better themselves. And I mean sometimes that's what homeless people need, just someone to tell them that it's possible, that they can make it. And I mean I think homeless people would homeless youth appreciate more advice from someone that's been in their position, in their shoes. And because I mean if I was homeless now, I would just appreciate advice from someone who's been in my shoes and someone who's been able to make it to normal and steady life. And that would inspire me more to just work towards getting out of being homeless.
Did you have any role models for you that you met through Doors of Change that really, that made a difference for you?
Role models, yes, I have. I mean, all the staff. I mean, Pedro, Shara, Kathy, Rafael. All the staff of Doors of Change are just like outstanding. Like their background, like all of them have a lot of knowledge in different areas. Like I remember each member of Doors of Change was specialized in their own fields, which was great because I would just be able to get advice on many different things. And to me, they were, I mean, my role models because I mean they were just normal people, but just with a big heart trying to help me and people in my position, which I just think is great because of the level of compassion that they had for people like me. So to me, I just saw them like that they're great people, they're great role models.
Talk about what your goals are, your new goals. So my goals are boom.
Hmm. Well, now my goals are, now that I'm not homeless anymore, um, my goals are to, I don't know. Hmm. Well, now my goals are to just keep on working at my current job, just save money,
Mm.
and eventually invest my money on either opening a laundromat or maybe just being able to rent apartments
Mm.
either here in the States or in Mexico, and even maybe going back to school, because I mean you can't really put a price on knowledge,
Mm.
because I think it's just a great thing to always be learning constantly new things.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my main three goals for now. Open a laundromat if possible, maybe rent apartments, or just go back to school and learn a new trade.
Mm. Fantastic. One last thing is that, can you look into the video and let someone know that's looking at this that I might want to give some money to this organization. I don't know yet. Share with me why it's important that you make a donation to Doors of Change, so we can help more youth like Alonzo have a life that they deserve.
Well, I think people should donate to the program, because if people hadn't donated to the program, I wouldn't be here. Maybe I would have still been in the streets. But thanks to this program, I've been able to succeed. And now I feel like I can just live on my own, not have to depend on a program anymore. And I know, I'm confident that I won't go back to the streets, because now I know how to save money. I got a good job, and it's all thanks to the people that donated to the program. So if people can't keep donating money to help more people in my position, it can change, I don't know, many lives, which I just think is great, because sometimes it's hard to find a program that actually helps homeless youth. And I mean, I've made it, and it's all thanks to Dose of Change. And if I made it, I know many other people can, but without the money, it's just not gonna happen.
I'm very proud of you,
Thank you.
and just you're motivated. We saw the leadership in you. We saw, when I first met you, I told you you're going to be successful, and I don't think you believed it. But you remember me telling you that? I said you'll
Yeah,
succeed. How's that? Sometimes we see it in you before you see it in yourself.
Can you repeat that again?
So sometimes people can see in you what you can't see in yourself. I knew you were going to be successful. I said, as long as you keep trying, you will succeed. Wasn't a doubt in my mind that you wouldn't succeed. And I told you that, right?
I remember you were saying after we had pancakes, you said you can make it, but you gotta work hard and be consistent. And I mean, it's true, it worked.
So looking back and seeing from that first pancakes we had in that restaurant to now, what surprised you the most? So the thing that surprised me the most during this journey is boom.
The thing that surprised me the most during my journey so far, it's just been able to become independent. And I think it's great. It's awesome to not fear being alone, and just knowing that I won't be going back to the streets, because now I'm able to take care of myself. I just think that's great, and it's all thanks to this journey of me just learning skill after skill thanks to the Doors of Change program. So I just think that's a great thing that I've been able to get from this program.
Good job.